everybody, Tanisha here, coming to you guys with another guest, the same guest, more than once, okay? So we all need to be grateful that he's here, and I'm very happy. This is my husband. He is the KDK. I used to go by married to KDK. You see that in parentheses because I am married to KDK. That is his initials. So this is him. So this is Mr. Kevin, my husband. Hi, husband.
Hey, wife.
So we did a kind of a chat after we did a marriage panel, and then I posted a Ask a Homeschool Dad video. And so I look forward to reading your questions. Again, if you have any questions that you want to ask him pertaining to homeschooling or even the support being the better half in the weight loss journey, which is what we're going to talk about today, you can comment down below on that video or the other two that we have posted together this year. Okay, 3 videos this year. I don't know if we're going to get any more. We just need to be appreciative. But if you post some questions, we'll get at least one more. All right, so I kind of wanted to chat with you today for a few minutes about your perspective on the weight loss journey. And so as I am talking, because we are sitting down, I will do this as a weight loss update. I will include some snippets about my 6-month measurements, and then I'll come back and do a separate video by myself, but I'll put my stats above us as we kind of chat for the next couple minutes. So what is it like? Well, let's start with the decision. What did you think when I came to you and asked, because I did ask, for permission about weight loss surgery? What did you think about that?
So we're going to be honest, or we're just going to give the face answer? Because the first honest answer, I was like, can I afford it?
Okay.
Like hot dog, like how much it's going to cost.
Okay.
Like, so the cash register went off in my head. The second thing that I did was, what happens if something goes wrong? I can't deal with not having you here.
So if you guys have not seen, I'll put a card in for that. And then obviously, I forgot to tell you guys, go to www.tanishakemp.com. You see that picture up there. And you can subscribe to the blog, and you'll see links to every single thing along with those weight loss updates and stats about what I'm talking about. But my husband did a beautiful video tribute to me. And that is our testimony, honestly, his perspective of when I had my childbirth with Bam Bam, how I almost died, and it was very, very serious, very scary, even for us considering to have another child. So when he says he was really contemplating me not being here, he's serious about that, because it was obviously a possibility. Okay, so after that, then what were your thoughts?
So then after that, it was, okay, the pressure is not on me per se, but it kind of was. So in my mind, I was like, okay, well, now I got to get better at eating. She's going to get better. I got to make sure that I'm leading by example and making sure that she's getting better at eating. I know you were going to take it super serious, and I know you well enough to know that when you let go of that pendulum, it was going to swing way to the other side. It was going to be ridiculous. And so instead of fighting you and trying to keep it in the middle, I just let it swing, and I consciously said, okay, wherever she goes, I'm going to follow in the regards to the food aspect. But, I was like, okay, well, she wants to go, I'm going to follow and support her. And no matter how ridiculous it gets, no matter how hard it gets, I'm going to be there. It did get hard during those.
Okay, so let's move into the next phase. After going through the appointments, I was cash pay, so I didn't have to do a lot of appointments like people do consistently for several months. From this date of decision for initial consultation, I just waited a couple months, but it really was 2 weeks from that. Once I got that last appointment done, and then I was under the knife. So let's talk about that preparation for surgery. He decided to do the diet with me. It was a week, all liquids. I opted to add in a couple more days because I do know, because I was so big, your weight shrinks, and your liver, they need your liver to shrink, so that's the point of that. So I did 3 days slim fast style, so like 2 shakes and a meal, and then 7 days liquids. So let's talk about that part. What made you decide to do it? Because I told him he didn't have to do it. I didn't make nobody do it. I started to cook and do everything else.
So I'm back to my decision when you decided to do this, that I was going to support you 100% no matter what. And I think that that's what goes into 100% no matter what, is wherever you went. Again, that pendulum swaying to the other side, and I knew it was going to, it's going to be rough. And I did cheat like twice. I had that pizza on that Sunday, and then I had a sandwich on that Saturday. But the sandwich
made him eat, guys. I was tripping. Those old Snickers commercials where they like, you are not yourself, okay? And they had like Aretha Franklin and stuff like that. He was tripping, okay? He was tripping.
Like we had, so I was at work doing my thing and, leading and motivating and mentoring and doing that. Then here we are coaching football, Then I was getting ready for hunting season, so we had hunting classes and different things, trips to Cabela's, and so it was.
So you kept busy.
It was a lot of busy, but then at the same time, my body was like, yo.
Oh, also, he was not following the instructions. The instructions are to constantly consume liquid, so that way your body's not wigging out. And he did not do that. He was keeping it. I'm gonna drink a shake here. And he's also a man. Men need more everything, protein, vitamins, stuff like that. And so the way that he was doing it was not the way he should have been doing it. And I finally was like, you just got to eat, because one of us got to live on the other side of it. So you need to eat some food.
So I had a sandwich.
And he did not eat even when I went to surgery. He stayed in there with me, and then he left. And what'd you eat? So what did you eat when I was underneath tonight?
So we went in there to surgery. I didn't eat until I dropped her off. We did all this stuff. It's COVID time, so obviously, I went with her. They let me go pretty far through the process.
We were very
like literally while they were wheeling her out into the OR. That's when I left. I went straight to IHOP. I sat down. The lady was like,
he was like, give me everything.
So the lady walks me in. Like, it's busy IHOP because it's a country town, so it's like super busy. So I walk in, and it's 10 or 11 in the morning, so it's not breakfast time. So I walk in, I sit down. Lady's like, you have the menu over here, like, because it's scanning, because it's COVID time. I was like, no need for a menu. Just give me Colorado omelet.
Know what I want.
I know what I want. Colorado omelet. That's it. Regular pancakes, water. That's it. So that's and I ate and I felt good. It was fantastic. It was filling, but since it was eggs and it was an omelet, it wasn't too heavy. But it was good enough, and the pancakes were heavy enough that was there. One time, years and years ago, when we first started fasting and stuff, I messed around. I had a steak after I broke a fast, and man, it messed my stomach up.
It is very key when you've been fasting. You don't just go in, okay? You don't fast and then eat a Thanksgiving meal. You've got to go in slow and light. So yeah, we learned our lesson over there.
That was good, and.
Okay, so what about what physical changes, aside from obviously the weight loss, what physical changes have you noted during the, and I said 6 months, I'm putting this in March, so that's my 4 months post-op, going into 5 months. So what have you noticed?
So for you, we both lost initial weight, obviously, when you're doing the fast. We were both stride for stride, and then she took off. I mean, it was like a rocket ship. Weight was falling off of her.
Let me just also add, he lost 100 pounds before I even started this process, okay? What I was not about to let him do is leave me fat, okay? So I had to do something.
I still got a lot of work.
He don't talk about that, but he did it on his own. And just doing regular stuff that you're supposed to do, not eating extra stuff, not drinking his calories. He's so disciplined. I was like,
that was it. I stopped soda, period. Like, in my mind is I don't, I eat calories, I don't drink them. So like I try. I mean, there's very few times in the last year plus that I've had soda. I probably had soda 7 or 8 times in the last.
Okay, so what about that? Like, how our pantry used to be filled with soda. Our refrigerator used to be filled with soda.
Now I do have I can't just drink water only, so I do like these little Hawaiian punches, and there's Skittles that make some 0 calorie, and then we have 0 calorie Gatorades and different things. So I do that. I do
So in the transition with the food, what's been the hardest thing to transition?
Well, I'm never going to be able to do like keto and no carb because I love bread too much. That's just not going to work for me. So as much as like I like meat, cheese, and bread. So meat and cheese, yeah, but like I gotta have bread. Like so that's it for me. So now I realize, and plus I don't really want to go on a diet per se. I just want to be able to make sure that I'm managing the caloric intake and just portion control and making sure I'm making healthier, wiser choices. So she's cut off a lot of, we get ground chicken a lot, ground turkey a lot. I mean, very few times. Like it's crazy. So like to give you an example of how our stuff has changed, when she's like, what do you want for your birthday? What do you want for Valentine's Day? Like, most people are like, I want steak and shrimp and da-da-da-da. Like, man, I want fried pork chops. Because she never fries anything for me. So, fried pork chops.
Rarely,
like,
yeah.
And so then, our fried chicken was, she never fries stuff for me, for obvious reasons.
I haven't done that in years.
And so, that's a big deal for me. So, that's a huge thing. If I have an opportunity if I go to a restaurant and they have fried pork chops, I'm on it. Because I can't get it at home. So, as much as I want, she cuts me off with a lot of stuff. Oh. And the things that she does. But yeah, I've
Do you feel like the way you were cut off, per se, was it torture or was it weaned off? Like, was it boom, you're cut off like a show, or was it slowly?
So we do a really good job of holding each other accountable. So sometimes I'll be like, hey, you sure you thought you supposed to do that? She ain't gonna tell you, but she tried to drink out of a straw. I was like, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. Oh but then she'll hold me accountable, and we used to make sure that when she first had the surgery, make sure you're drinking water, make sure we wanted to set those things that are now second nature for her, but they weren't second nature at first. We want to make sure, and she does the same thing for me. She makes my plates, most of the time, so she makes them a lot smaller. And I'll just do different things. I'm at work. I work from home, but I'm sitting in front of my desk, and so she'll bring me stuff in the morning to eat. And it used to be like, man, what is this? This ain't enough. Now I just eat it and I just sit on it, and then a lot of times it'll be okay. So the biggest thing I would say out of this whole thing is coming through and doing that cleanse with you. That what is it? Well, let's just give it a 10-day cleanse that we did, and 7 days of it liquid only for, doing that gave me the mental power to understand that I could literally do anything when it comes to food. It changed my thought process when it comes to food a lot, because it gave me the ability to say, if I did it then, I can do it now. If I can it shows you. So, if you want to make it, any kind of analogy that you want, you can just say, I couldn't do this before, now I can. So now that you've broken that seal, you realize that glass ceiling is shattered, you can continue to move forward. And so I would say that's the biggest takeaway I've had going through this process with you. I celebrate everything that you do, all of your accomplishments, all of your different things. I acknowledge the fact that you work extremely hard. That's why I don't say, anything, because she made some changes. Some of them were heavy, when it comes to different buying or different things. Because when you make a change from not as healthy as nutritious food to very nutritious food, there's a huge swing in the grocery side, bill. So once you make that change, she's buying stuff and purchasing things that were way more expensive. But then when I take a step back and I look at it on a macro level, it kind of works out, because we're buying less quantity of stuff. She's buying more quality stuff, but it's less quantity of stuff. So therefore, it kind of works and evens out. I would notice there's a slight intake, uptick in cost of our groceries, but I would say it wasn't that big of a deal. But it kind of evens out when we go out to eat, because now she's eating off the kids' menu. So now, Kendon he's moved, the oldest bear is on the grown-up side, and she's jumped down to the kids' side. So we still even across the board that way. So it's...
Oh my goodness. So I do want to say also too that I've noticed everybody eats less, with the exception of Princess. Everybody eats less. She already ate the least, but everybody actually eats less.
Kemp eats more.
Well, I mean, obviously he's different. Okay, we're not counting the never ending big black hole that is a teenager's stomach. But as far as the younger kids, I didn't realize how much I was teaching them to eat everything and eat a lot of it. Like even the way I made plates. I mean, I would just pile it on. You know, we're Southern, and a lot of that is showing our love through food. And so obviously I've learned to show them love in other ways, which is through activity. So for one of the last questions, we did a lot during Christmas season, and we just been moving around pretty much ever since. How do you feel about that's Princess and Bam, they want to make sure we have water. How do you feel about the activity level that has changed and making us like, come on, get up everybody, let's go outside for a walk when it's sunny and stuff like that? Like, how do you feel about that?
I mean, it feels good. We talk about benefits, so we just, you're asking what the benefits of this thing that I've seen. First and foremost is your attitude is completely changing, different when it comes to stuff. You're happier, you're brighter, you're more cheerful, you're full of energy. It's like, somebody shoots you up with caffeine and like Red Bull every morning. Like it's just...
Somebody said that to me at church. She was like, oh my gosh, you left me a message and I was having a horrible day. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's so happy. I just love her. And she was like, you're like that all the time now.
Like it's just you're there. And so I'm cool with it. Like it brings more energy to the house. And so then everybody is just full of more energy and more energetic. I feel like that's the number one thing, and it's 100% worth it. Like your health is 100% why we made that investment, and we spent that money. But the second thing is the energy and how the house feels so much better because of that. And then the kids probably hate it because you have way more energy to teach them and to stay on top of them.
Yes,
so
I'm in there.
They're
instead of sitting there and be like, hey, what y'all doing? I just come in the room. Boom! What you in there doing? They asked for, they were like, we want Fat Mama back.
Yeah, so that is 100% a big thing is your attitude, your health, obviously, and then we're just gonna be 100% honest, but baby, you looking good. Like you're just like it. Can't keep my hands off of her. Like I can't. Like I'm just constantly looking.
All right, it's
we grown.
In other news.
No, we grown. We keep this in.
In other news.
The reality is, my wife is, I was always 100% attracted to my wife. I always loved her.
Ever made me feel like I wasn't beautiful.
But to her, she feels more attractive. So therefore, she loves getting dressed. Like she used to dread going into the closet. Now she loves going into the closet. Yeah. I get random fashion shows, like even when I don't want to. Every Saturday night, I get a fashion show. Like she's just stripping off clothes and putting it back on. I'm like,
look,
okay, that looks good.
I'm trying to figure out what fits and what doesn't fit because I still have some old stuff and I have some newer, smaller stuff, and I'm trying to figure things out.
But that's a good thing.
It's not a hard thing because back then I was trying to get dressed and then I was putting on stuff and couldn't fit it. And that was the frustration part of that fashion show. This fashion show was, okay, well, what fits and what can I make look like it kind of fits and that, yeah. So it's different, but yeah.
It's a positive thing. I get a fashion show. She looks really, really, really good. Like I'm super attractive to my wife, and like the better and better she feels. The more and the more, because like one of the things that she got me on, like when we was in college, was her confidence. She thought she was the stuff,
and that's cool because I always thought that.
I was, okay, Kemp, and nobody told me nothing. Like I was the man. Like like there's just all of my friends, like even my cousin, like he had this thing that he would say his name, like I'm blank and I'm cute. Like that was his thing. Like that was everybody knew that like we had the confidence, and like that was our swagger. We needed that. So at the end of the day, I feel like that makes you 100% more attractive just because you feel it. You always gonna look good to me, baby. I don't care 1 pound or 1,000 pounds. You still the sexiest woman on the earth. But the end of the day is you feel better, and then you have that confidence, and I just miss that confidence for you. So
and it's genuine now. So it was like a performance kind of almost for a while, because I was in pain a lot of days, and especially when we were busy during sports season and we would have a long Saturday, and then I had to get up and go to church on Sunday, and then right after that I had to do stuff all week because we have obligations at various places because we're very supportive. And so yeah, it was a lot, but now it's no longer a facade. It's back to being genuine. Not that I didn't always appreciate and enjoy being around people, but it was a lot of physical pain, and that's gone. But I appreciate that. I've said it before, and I've cried on the internet many times about how blessed I am with the support that I've received from my family. And I appreciate you because you have championed excellence in everything. And because of that, it makes me want to work hard, even in this, and be the wife and give you what you deserve, and, you know, being present. And I right now I'm going through a guilt stage because I feel so guilty for letting myself get so far and not being able to care for them and be able to be there for them like I should have. And they're always just like the face he's making, they're always like, stop saying that and stop apologizing. But I feel so guilty. And I think that's why I'm always overboard, like, let's do this, come on, let's go, you know, because I feel so horrible. But my family is so gracious and forgiving, and they're so supportive. I really am blessed, you know. I am blessed to be a Kemp, and I'm thankful. So thank you for giving me that. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the first part of this. Now, we had to split this up into two, so we'll end it with me getting ready to tell my little confession of how I cheated during my pre-op diet, and then we'll come back in a couple weeks with the rest of this conversation to hear his take on when people give discouraging comments and whatnot. So we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.